हेलो।
एक टाइम पे यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन दिल्ली की सिर्फ कुछ ऑफलाइन क्लासेस में ही हो सकती थी और वो भी लाखों रुपए की फीस देने।
So hi, welcome all. So it's already 8:35, and I'm so sorry that I wasn't available over here for the past few days for the video, and so I'm just hoping to class to be more regular from here onwards. So yes, like on the previous other 2 days, we were talking or discussing about geography, and today also we'll be discussing few portions here and there about geography as well. Today's session will be about the interior of the earth and like always, we'll just wait for 2 more minutes so that even others could join us. Just 2 more minutes so that other children wouldn't miss out on the other important aspects of interior of the earth. And last class we discussed about the atmosphere of the earth. That is all the vertical atmosphere, vertical layers of what the earth has. That is all these spheres or spheres that we could call as, like for example, troposphere and stratosphere. So such that. And today we'll be talking about the inside part of the earth, which is the interior of the earth. And if I'm not audible or any other problems or issues are there, do let me know that right now in the comment section itself, so that it wouldn't be a further problem when the class proceeds. So yes, we'll wait for 2 more minutes. It's 8:36 right now, so we'll start by 8:38. Will that be fine? Right. So yes, so how were your weekends? And I think I missed on Monday and Tuesday as well. So I had some errands to run to. So that was the issue that I had to miss few days of class. And yes, Saturday and Sunday I thought I'll just take a leave and sort of like an off since it's weekend. And so we having students joining us slowly. So we'll just wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start on with the session. So tomorrow I'm thinking of starting with economics. And one student asked me about 12th standard macroeconomics being more complicated and tough. So I thought I'll teach certain aspects from the NCRT based topic from that. If there's any other subject that you want me to teach you or help you with that, do let me know that also. I'll also do that. Whatever be necessary being done, I'll do that. So tomorrow I'm thinking of economics and preferably a topic from the 12th standard macroeconomics. So yes, it's already 8:38, so we'll start on with the session. So yes, so we're going to discuss about the interior part of the Earth. Sure enough, the Earth is actually a spherical or sort of like a geode in shape, but we don't know what goes inside, and it's pretty much impractical for us to dig till the core and see what happens inside. It's not possible. It's not feasible for us all. So yes, 1 second, okay. Hold on for a second. Let me just. I forgot to share it in the group as well. So yeah, so like I said, what goes on the outside, also the interior part of the earth is very much complicated, and it has series of layers to it. That is how we are unwrapping sort of like a chocolate. Same way over here for an earth. The more we dig deeper, the more we go inside. Hello, Balagopal. So how far we go deeper, how far we go inside, we can see. Hi Shiva. So hi. So hi all. Welcome to the session. So today, like I said, I'm just repeating myself for the sake of the students as well. Today we will be discussing about the interior part of the earth. So like I said, the interior part is also pretty much complicated. The more we go deeper, we're going to find a series of change or transition of layers. That is, like we said, in the atmosphere. That is, after we have troposphere, we have stratosphere. So we have a shift in terms of density, temperature, and even in the compositions of all the like air or any oxygen or any sorts of gases being present. Same over here goes in here. Geetanjali, yes, Chetan Kumar, hi. So same over here and even in the inside or the interior part of the earth. The more we go down, we're going to see or we're going to find lots of series of transitions, series of differences from one layer to the other. So we'll see that all. So this is in short the layer of the earth. And like we all know, the inside, the most inside part of the earth is called as core. And we have, even in the core, we have, series of components, that is inner core, outer core, and the crust. And it is to be believed, okay, we are not, say it for certain, but it is to be believed that the temperature of the core, that is inside, the most interior part of the earth is core. The temperature of core is actually the temperature of the surface of the earth, and we cannot say that since the interior is very hot, we can't compare that with the sun, because even in the sun, as we go inside or towards the interior parts of the sun, it's going to be million times hotter as we go inside the sun. So same over here, the topmost layer of the earth, which is the lithosphere, is we can say it's kind of like a warm temperature, but as we go down till the core part, we're going to find very hot. And easier way of remembering is lith is actually stone. You must have heard of lithography. Lithography is a sort of like a series, a type of printing. For example, if this is a stone, I'll have inscriptions on it. I'll just scratch and make inscriptions with a knife or with a nail or something like that, and I'll put ink in it, and I'll just mop it with a cloth or any piece like that, and when I just pick it up, there'll be like printed facts over there. So same over here, lithosphere, just lithography. So lithosphere, so something has to do with the stones. So whatever the topmost layer is called as lithosphere. And then we have asthenosphere, sort of like a transient sphere. We can't call the sphere to be an individual one, because it's actually a transition from lithosphere to the mantle. And then we have the liquid, the core, and we have the solid one. So even same over there, that is in the atmosphere, we can find hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. So same over here, we're going to find a change in compositions also over here. So yes, so the four layers, the most broader ones are these. We have the crust or the lithosphere, and then we have the upper mantle, and then we have the lower mantle and the core. Essentially, it is three. That is crust, the topmost part of where we are living. Okay, all the interactions that human activities are there, it's actually the crust. And then there is mantle. And under mantle comes the core, the most inside part, the solid part is called as core. So Earth is composed of four different layers. The crust is the layer that you live on. Yes, that we are having the human interactions on. The one we have building our houses or whatever that we have. All the physical activities are being manifested here on the crust. And yes, the mantle is much hotter and the ability to flow. The outer core or the inner core are even hotter with pressure so great that you will be squeezed into a ball smaller than a marble if you were able to go to the center of the earth. So this is the pressure or the density that the core or the mantle part have. The more we go deeper, the more the intensity of heat, more the density, and more the pressure. And since the pressure is so high that we will be, crushed. So, and then we comes the crust. That is the outermost part, the initial part of the earth. So, crust is the skin of an apple, and it's very thin in comparison to the other three layers. That is, it's not possible for us to, like we are saying, for example, if the earth is comprising of 100%, okay, suppose this is 100%. I don't have a sphere to show you, okay. I have a speaker, but I cannot lift it. Okay, suppose this is the earth. 100% is the earth. Okay, from the 100%, probably just 10 or 20% of the layer will only comprise of the crust. And the more we go inside, for example, the mantle that we have over here is said to be the thickest one. Okay, and the crust is very thin compared to mantle. And we can't say crust is thin because we are having, hundreds of deep wells and all. So it is part of the crust, but it is very much thin compared to the other parts, which is mantle, and then we know the core. and only just 3 to 5 miles, that is the 8 kilometers. And think under the oceans, oceanic crust. Yes, that we all know that. Yeah, so this is just an example. Okay, I'm just jumping to the next slide so that it will be easy. I'll just come back here and explain. That is, our Earth comprises of many continents. And if you have noticed it, I'm sorry, I don't have the map right now. If you have noticed, sort of like, it's sort of like inclined to the left side, as if, it's flowing. So, the idea or the theory that people or the scientists came up with is that the Earth is actually even ever evolving. And these continents are in a way like they are flowing, but they're very slowly flowing. Probably they're taking millions and millions of years to complete the process of flowing. And when they are flowing, it's coming like that. And it is to be believed that this South America and Australia, everything, this part was conjoined before. And if you were to, fix all these continents, we can find that Africa and South America, they were just fixed together as sort of like a jigsaw puzzle. So this is to be believed that the whole continent was actually in one big chunks of pieces, and they split it, and they are still flowing. So their plates, and we are calling the land part is to be the solid plates, and the other part, the ocean ones, to be the oceanic plates. So oceanic plates, yes, obviously their crust are going to be a little more thinner than the continental crust. Why? Because the most part of it's oceans. Yes, they're going to have, Mariana Trench is actually 11,000 feet under. Okay, so that is like the deepest part of the ocean. But even under the Mariana Trench, they are having a thin layer of the solid part or the crust. So yes, so the crust, they are saying that they have 3 to 5 miles, and oceanic about 25 miles, which is 32 kilometers thick under the continents. That is the continental crust, and like we said, obviously it's natural that the continental crust will be much more thicker or much more longer or taller compared to the oceanic crust. Why? Because ocean is most probably, they're covered by the oceans. So under the oceans, like for example, Mariana Trench is 11,000 meters and 11,000 feet, and under that comes only the crust. So it has to be even more thinner than the continental ones. And now is the lithospheric plates. The crust of Earth is broken into many pieces called the plates. These plates float on the soft semid region called the Asthenosphere, because it's sort of like the crust or these continents are flowing in the oceans. So whenever we are learning, try to imagine. Okay, I know the imaginations could be very crazy when you're thinking all these continents to be flowing, but it actually helps a lot. So just think that these continents are flowing on top of these oceans. And yes, what is Asthenosphere? Top part, this only this much of consists of the oceanic crust. Because why? For example, this is the continental crust. Till here is the oceans. It comprises of oceans. So they are losing sort of that much of height. And here the mantle, and this whole part is the mantle. This is the uppermost part of the mantle. This is lowermost part of the mantle. Asthenosphere is the semi-region part of the middle mantle that flows like hot affairs under the heavy weight. And it's that is like even we discussed about the layers of the atmosphere. After each layer, for example, troposphere is considered to be, the more we go up, it's going to be more colder. But it's totally different when it comes to the next layer. So over here also, we have continental crust over here. So just to be believe that under it's very, rigid, but under that it becomes very kind of liquidy. That is, it's hard liquid. So sort of like that. And lithosphere is the crust and the uppermost layer of the mantle together make up a zone of rigid brick rock called lithosphere. So lith is actually consists of stones. Like we have lithography, lithosphere. So remember like that. Uh, and the crust is composed of two rocks, which is the continental crust, mostly granite, oceanic crust, which is basalt. The basalt is much denser than the granite, and because of this, less. See, for example, if we are suppose, because this is a piece of paper. This is just a piece of paper, and if I just put it in a water, what will happen? It will just float on the water. The reason is why this paper's density is much lesser, or it's much more, it weight less compared to the water. That's the reason why it's floating over here. And our crust is much thicker. But what is that? What is the comparison, or what is the consisting of Earth? Is granite. Since granite is lesser denser, considering the other one, that is the reason why it's being floating over here. And the mantle is the largest layer of the earth, like we said. The thinnest part is the crust or the lithosphere, and here the most majority part comprises of the mantle, and only of the inside part is the core. So they are the largest layer of the earth, and middle mantle is composed of very hot dense rock that flows like asphalt under a heavy weight. The movement of middle mantle is reason of the crustal plates of the earth move. It's sort of like a convention current. Okay, like I don't have the picture right now. That is, it's moving like this. Okay, the heat is being flowing like this. So, for example, if you're standing under a furnace, there will be evaporating heat. So when we stand under the furnace, this will hit us. So same over here, since it is moving so much, it's moving rapidly, it's hitting the crust, and that is the reason why the continents are floating here on the oceans. So yes, so like we said, it's kind of like moving like this, conventional current, and the middle mantle that flows because of the conventional current. And the conventional currents are caused by the very hot material at the deepest part of the mantle rising and then cooling and sinking again, repeating over the cycle and over again. That is, as they go up, they see. Stop messaging me, okay? When I'm in the class, it's okay. Thank you so much. Yes, join here. Yes. So, like we said, it's moving again and again. The reason it's sort of similar to the wind. That is from one density to the other. And when the pressure becomes less, it starts moving from one place to the other. So it's almost similar to it. When you get the concept of one subject, it will be easier to connect the other. So same over here. Again, it cools down. Again, it gets hotter, and again it cools down. Again, it gets hotter. And when it's keep on, moving like a cycle, what happens? This sort of like affects the continental plate, and that is the reason why. And also because it contains granite, which is considered to be a less dense compared to the oceanic basalt. So that's the reason why it's floating here on the ocean. And yes, so this cycle keeps on repeating. And the conventional current. Next time you heat anything like soup or water in the pan, you can watch the convention current. That is, if you like, for example, if you are like boiling anything, or if you have used any special cooker where you will be having a base heating on that, that's called double boiling. Okay, it's actually a term in kitchen mechanisms. That is having a water and keeping a tray over there and keeping the pan on top of the tray. So that is double boiling. So you must have noticed it goes like sort of like a loop. It goes up, it goes up, it gets cooler and comes down, gets hotter again, it again goes up and it becomes cooler with the interactions of the atmosphere, and again it comes down, and it comes down. What happens with the heat or the furnace? It again gets hotter, so it goes up and goes up and goes up. So we can see a sort of like a wave like motion up on the water surface. Same over here, it's happening here inside the earth and the outer core. And outer core, which is below the mantle, the core of the earth is like the ball of very hot metals. The outer core is so hot that its metals are all in liquid state. The outer core is composed of melted metals of nickel and iron. So you must be wondering that how come this earth or this crust or these lithosphere, these continents are sustaining over on top of these semi-liquid kind of materials. The reason is since the density of heat, or since the heat or the temperature is very high, heat is so much high, that is the reason why solid part like continents are floating on top of these liquid or semi-liquid components over here. And the innermost core is the earth has temperature and pressure so great that metals are squeezed together and not able to move about like a liquid, but forced to vibrate in place like a solid. And the reason why the core is very, sort of like solid state is because the pressure is so high, and pressure is so much and so intense that as we go inside, we're going to find the pressures increasing rapidly. And since the pressures are increasing rapidly, these cores are being transformed into solid ones. Since the pressures are very high, it will be transformed into a ball-like structure. So that is the reason why we find the inner cores very ball-like. And so today's session was, that's it. It was short, and it was in a way that my way of learning new concepts is that I'll be studying the one line of it. That the whole picture, I'll get the idea. Okay, fine. The next time only I'll get into the detail. For example, the next time I am revising it, I'll be studying about the convection current. Okay, I get the idea. I wouldn't start off with little by little detail and detail, because it sort of like confuses me. I'll get the whole picture, whole idea I'll get in one line structure, and the next time I'll revise, I'll go deeper into it and find more important points and important details that will add on the points. This way it will retain my informations in up in my head. It's sort of, I'm not memorizing it, so it's easier to remember. You're not memorizing it, you're remembering it. But the problem is that if you're doing it the other way around, which is like studying little by little in the detail elaborately, when you start off in the first part itself, chances that you might procrastinate, you might be lazy, because so many informations in that way, it will discourage you. And the other ways is that since lot many informations are cramming up in your head, you can't remember past many few days, and you have to keep on constantly revising it. And revision is not possible here in civil services, at least in the first initial 4 5 months into your preparations, because you will take lots of time to at least get a one line cover of the whole portions, and only after that in your second revision or in second read you'll get the chance to revise. So this way is much more feasible and easier. That is my opinion and my say about it. So that was this today's class was very short. Tomorrow I'll be starting off with economics. It will be a long class, and it's concentrating more mainly on the macroeconomics part. So it's again on the same time, that is 8:30 p.m. So if you have any doubts or any other clarifications regarding this, do let me know that, because I'm about to end the session. So yes, it was good to see you all back after a short break. I was away for a few days. So yes, we'll see you all again tomorrow at 8:30 for economics. So thank